guys, it's Emily from Holladay Distillery, and welcome back to our new segment, Game Day with Holladay, where we show you how to kick up your tailgate or watch party with great food and, of course, great cocktails. Last week, Bree showed us how to make an awesome appetizer for your tailgate. This week, Brad, the second half to Smokin' Magic, will show us how to make a fantastic main meat. Brad, take it away.
All right, guys. So when my favorite team is hitting the gridiron, I want to eat some food that I know is going to feed a bunch, and it's going to be so good. So one of our go-tos is the ribs. So what I got right here is a St. Louis style pork rib. So what we look for when we get a pork rib, we're looking for that marbling up in here. We want to find a good marbled rib. I'm looking for thick. So let's get to trimming one so we can get it on the smoker. So first thing I'm gonna do on the back side of the rib, once I flip it over, I'm gonna go find and see if they got, sometimes there'll be a little skirt right here. This one's not bad, I'm not gonna mess with it. So all I'm gonna do is just trim a couple little things off. And then I'm gonna take these two end bones off on the big side. There's a reason for that, it's not wasteful. If you look at it, it's all fat, nobody wants to eat that, so get it off there. Once I do that, take your regular butter knife out of the wife's kitchen, just don't let her know you have it. Get up underneath that membrane, and I'm gonna lift it, stick my thumb under, use a paper towel, and remove that membrane. So what that's gonna do, it's gonna make sure that the backside of that rib doesn't have like a crunchy, crisp, almost like paper feel to it. That membrane, once it gets hot, will get kind of hard. So we wanna get that off. The other thing I'm gonna do, I always like when the food looks pretty. I don't wanna just put out nasty looking food. On this end right here, it's real thin. What's gonna happen, the thicker end is gonna get, it's gonna cook, take a little longer to cook. This shorter end or thinner end will, God, I am fumbling all over myself. Sorry, I'll start over. So, I'll start over with this. So the thick end will take a little longer to cook. It's gonna hold most of your moisture. This thinner end will get crispier, harder. It won't be as, it'll get done a lot sooner. So what I like to do is come in here and find the last short bone and just square it up. And then cut off any, there's some of that flat coming up. Once I do that, you can see I've got some stuff over here I just wanna clean up. I look at the top of the ribs or the bottom of the ribs. Anything that doesn't look like I would eat it after it was cooked, I'm gonna cut off. So all this fat and the silver skin that's on this end right here, I want it gone. And then the last step is I'm gonna go, I already cut those two bones off, so I'm gonna go into what would normally be the fourth bone, which on this one is now the second one. I'm gonna go to about 1/4 inch above it, make a cut, and I'm going straight across. Now the reason I'm doing that is there is a bunch of cartilage up in here. The meat's really good, but that cartilage is gonna really be nasty once you chew on it. You can put this on the smoker with your ribs if you want, and they call those pit snacks. But today, for the sake of today, we're not gonna do that. So as you can see, now I got a nice evenly cut piece of ribs, or set of ribs, and what I'm gonna do now is get ready to rub it. All right, so now that we have our ribs trimmed up and ready to season, let's get them going. So first thing I'm gonna do is flip them over to the bone side, as I like to call it. We're gonna use two of our rubs today. Use whichever rub you like. Ours, we're gonna use our pork rub and our rib rub. We're gonna add a little sweet, a little peppery, and a lot of zest. So first thing I'm gonna do is come across and put about a medium coat across these with the pork rub. Make sure you get good even coverage with these rubs. And I'm coming right back over the top of that with a light coat of rib rub. It's just gonna add that pepper, a little more sweet to it. Today we're in a little bit of hurry, so we're gonna pat this in. Never take your hand and rub it across something that you've been seasoned in barbecue, because what's gonna happen if you take your hand and rub it across, it's gonna move those seasonings around where it won't be even. So you can pat it in to help it absorb into the meat. So for today, we pat that in. We're gonna flip it over. I'm gonna hurry, I'm ready to eat. So we're gonna take our pork rub again. Now this is the pretty side, so this is where I'm a little more picky about how they look. So I'm gonna come back over with another medium coat. And get that nice and evenly applied. It's kind of like Bob Ross, painting pretty trees. Now the rib rub back over the top of that. So normally I'll let this sit on the counter after I rub it, let it sit for about 20 minutes, and we're gonna let that rub do what we call sweat in. We're gonna let it pull the moisture, some of the moisture out of that meat. It's gonna make the rub wet, which is gonna make it, get you that really nice pretty bark once it gets on the smoker. So if you throw meat directly on the smoker after just applying the rub, the sugars in that rub haven't had time to break down, so there's a good chance you can get a pretty dark color to it. So we want that pretty mahogany. So let that sit for about 20 minutes and then we'll get it on the smoker and get it started. So we've got the ribs on the smoker. Now for me, I'm a hot and fast guy. I'm cooking at 300 degrees because I want to get to the game. I don't want to be sitting over that smoker all day. So what I'm doing is I'm cooking to color. Whether you're slow and slow or hot and fast, you're cooking to color. We're looking for that beautiful mahogany color. Low and slow guys, that might take 2 to 3 hours. For us hot and fast guys, hour and 15, 20 minutes to an hour and a half usually. So mine will be done here in just a minute and ready to go into a wrap stage. So what we're gonna do when we go into a wrap, I'm gonna get me a couple pieces of foil down, probably about the size of this cutting board right here. So maybe 18 to 24 inches of foil. I'm gonna double it up. The reason I double up is I don't want punctures. I don't wanna lose all that goodness I'm about to put in there. So when I'm ready to wrap my ribs, I'm gonna use 1 stick of butter. I'm gonna cut it lengthwise in half and lay it on the bottom in the wrap. Then once I do that, I'm gonna take my rib and set my rib directly in the middle over the top of the butter. I'm gonna add Smokin' Magic Southern Twang barbecue sauce. Let's call that about a 1/2 cup. I'm gonna add about a 1/4 cup of pure maple syrup. We're looking for the amber medium color. If you like darker, go for darker. We like the amber medium. That's what we use in competition. Sugar in the raw tends to not scorch, so we like that since we're cooking hot and fast. So if you like brown sugar, stick with it. So that's how we're gonna do our wrap today. Our ribs have been on the smoker the first part for an hour and a half. We got them wrapped. It took about another hour and 20 minutes to get them to that perfect tenderness. So we cook hot and fast, and so usually that tenderness is gonna be about a finish temp about 208 on there, but we're looking for a few key things. So I'm gonna pull them out of this bag that we held them in, and I'm gonna show you a couple of the key things we're looking at when we're looking at those ribs. So this is a really well-cooked rack of ribs. So we're gonna look right in here, and we're gonna start seeing some cracking. When you start seeing that cracking, that's gonna let you know their tenderness is perfect. So I'm gonna take a little bit of our sweet sauce. I'm gonna add it to the board, just a little bit. Move it around. What I'm doing is just making a nice little base for this rib to sit on while I cut it. And I'm gonna make nice even cuts. Get yourself a sharp knife. Double in there. All right, once we got that done, I'm gonna take just a stripe of the sweet over the back. Then we're gonna take our Southern Twang back out. It's a little bit apple cider vinegar taste to it. Take a couple stripes of that over it. That rubbed in so when you take a bite, it catches the bottom of your tongue. Top of your tongue, sorry. I'm gonna flip them over. We're gonna do the same thing. Sweet sauce over the top. We're gonna add a little more on the tops though. And a little bit of Southern Twang. About half as much Southern Twang. I'm gonna rub them in. Now, they are ribs, so you gotta make a mess. Once you get that done, you have a perfect St. Louis style rib.
If you want any of the recipes from today, it'll be linked in the description below. As always, if you use this recipe or the cocktail recipe, make sure you tag us at #GameDayWithHolladay.
Let's get right in there.
Cheers.
So good.
Hi guys, so today we're going to be making a cold weather friendly cocktail called the Holladay Vintage Eggnog. So the first thing you're gonna do is
Flag on the play. Upon further review, the eggnog just was not cutting it. We took a batch cocktail and tried to pare it down to make it a single serve, and our math just was not mathing. But luckily, we have a last-minute substitution coming in off the bench that we think is going to be a dream teammate for Smokin' Magic's delicious ribs. Let's get into it. So today we're going to make a bourbon blitz with our Holladay soft red wheat bottled in bond bourbon. You're going to take 2 ounces of soft red. You're going to take 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. 3/4 of an ounce. Lies. Yes. 3/4 of an ounce root beer rum syrup. And 1/4 of an ounce of allspice graham. We're gonna grab some ice. Give that a good shake. Grab some ice for our glass. Take your cocktail strainer. And you're just gonna garnish with the dehydrated lime. And there you have it, Bourbon Blitz. Cheers, y'all.
Just a short drive from Kansas City. Experience the history, the heritage, and the bourbon at Holladay Distillery. Tour Missouri's oldest distillery, where real Missouri bourbon is made the old-fashioned way. Walk the grounds, taste the tradition, and take home a bottle of something special. Make the trip, sip the story. Holladay Distillery, Weston, Missouri. Book your tour at holladaydistillery.com.